Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the podcast, and welcome to your Monday Night Raw post-show. Starting off tonight, we got Roman Reigns coming out to the ring to greet the fans. Roman has a microphone in hand. He asks the fans to acknowledge him. After that, he's quickly interrupted by Cody Rhodes. Rhodes comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone. He asks the fans, "What do you want to talk about?" Rhodes then talks about Wargames. Rhodes then wonders Roman Reigns' motive going into Wargames. Reigns says that he's been in this war, specifically with the Bloodline. Reigns talks about his history with Rhodes and the matches they've had. Rhodes then welcomes Reigns to his team. After that, both Rhodes and Reigns are interrupted by CM Punk. CM Punk comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone, tells the fans to acknowledge him. Punk then also talks about War Games. Punk also talks about saving Roman at the last War Games. Punk then asks Rhodes who made it his team. Punk says that while Rhodes can be the quarterback on Friday nights, on Mondays, Punk is the champ. Roman says he doesn't care whose team it is. He just hates Paul Heyman and the Vision. Roman says the title would look good around his waist, pretty much confusing both Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Some interesting stuff there from Roman Reigns. Moving on from that, we have a Last Time Is Now tournament matchup where it is Gunther taking on Carmelo Hayes. I thought it was a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Gunther and Hayes, with Hayes keeping the pace of the match. Hayes then hits a powerbomb on Gunther in the middle of the ring. Gunther then gets up, goes for a powerbomb on Carmelo Hayes, but Hayes counters it. Hayes then hits a first 48 on Gunther in the middle of the ring. Hayes then hits a DDT on the outside on Gunther, but Gunther gets up, hits a devastating powerbomb on Hayes for a near fall. Gunther then applies a sleeper hold, but Gunther then breaks the hold, hits another powerbomb on Carmelo Hayes, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match and advancing in the Last Time Is Now tournament is Gunther. Hats off to Gunther for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we have Dominic Mysterio. Dominic comes out to the ring, grabs a microphone. He talks about Survivor Series. Dominic says that he's going to end John Cena's retirement tour. Mysterio then says he's the greatest Mysterio of all time. After that, John Cena music hits, but it's not John Cena. Instead, it is a mini Cena. Pretty much Dominic making fun or mocking John Cena. We also have a mini Stu, which is WWE's cameraman. Mysterio then attacks the mini Cena, followed by Dominic hitting a 619 on the mini Cena, if you will, followed by a frog splash as well. After this, Rey Mysterio was here, and it looks like we get an impromptu match between Rey Mysterio taking on JD McDonough. The match itself I thought was a decent match. Back and forth matchup between Mysterio and McDonough, with McDonough keeping the pace of the match. McDonough then hits a Spanish fly for a near fall. Finn Balor was ringside. He ends up tripping Rey Mysterio. Mysterio then sends JD into Finn Balor. This allowed Rey Mysterio to hit a 619, followed by Rey hitting the finish, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Rey Mysterio. Hats off to Rey Mysterio for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we have Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch comes out to the ring. She talks about War Games. She also mentions AJ Lee as well. Becky then talks about forming the best War Games team of all time. Becky talks about the history with her team that she's had, specifically Nia Jax. And all of a sudden, the other team for the Women's War Games match comes out, an all-out brawl, if you will, an all-out attack happens between both of the War Games teams. Moving on from that, we have another Last Time Is Now tournament matchup. It is Solo Sikoa taking on Penta. I thought it was a decent match, back and forth matchup in the beginning of the match. Solo was keeping the pace of the match, but Penta then looks hurt by jumping off the barricade, landing on his arm. Referee sounds for the bell, and the match ends due to Penta being injured, and Solo Sikoa advances in the Last Time Is Now tournament. Moving on from that, we have the main event of Monday Night Raw. It is a Advantage War Games matchup for both respected teams. It is the Usos taking on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul from the Vision. The match itself I thought was a good match, man. Back and forth matchup between the Usos, McIntyre, and Paul, with the Usos keeping the pace of the match. Logan Paul hits a blockbuster on Jimmy Uso, followed by Jimmy getting up, hitting a spear on Logan in the middle of the ring. Jimmy Uso then hits an Uso splash on Logan for a near fall. After this, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are here. Punk and Rhodes then come out to the ring. They attack Breaker and Reed. Logan then ends up hitting a roll-up, pins for the 3. And your winner of the match, or winners of the match, are Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. After this, an all-out brawl happens between the both teams. Roman Reigns is here as well. Roman then attacks Breakker and Reed, followed by Roman hitting a Superman punch on Drew and Logan Paul. After this, Brock Lesnar shows up at Paul Heyman, but Lesnar pretty much falls on his ass at the entrance ramp. Fans got a good laugh out of that. And then all of a sudden, an all-out fight breaks out between both Wargames teams. A couple of things I want to talk about, man, when it pertains to Monday Night Raw before I get the hell up out of here. Number one, was it a decent show? It was a decent show. It wasn't a bad show at all. I think a lot of it has to come down to the fact that, everything is leading up to this year's War Games. Number one. Number two, there was a couple things that I did have concerns about and things that I honestly didn't like. The Solo Sikoa Penta match, to be honest with you, I know a lot of people said that, Solo was going to get the win in that match regardless. It does look as if Penta is injured. And obviously Penta took the L in the match, and he is not advancing in the Last Time Is Now tournament. Where it looks like we're going to get Solo Sikoa taking on Gunther, which should be a solid match. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, man, and I've said this from the beginning when this tournament was announced. I thought this tournament was going to be probably one of the best tournaments in the States that we've seen in a very long time. And I'll be the first one to tell you guys that I was at the forefront of saying that. I'm going to be honest. I think this tournament has been lackluster. I think they've had talent. They've had some good moments with returns of Zack Ryder. We also got the return of Dolph Ziggler in this tournament as well. So we've had some really good moments. We also seen Javon Evans from NXT taking on Gunther. We've had some good moments. They had the talent for this tournament, but this tournament is starting to fall flat. It's not really entertaining as much anymore, and honestly, the way things are starting to ship up and shape out, all stars are aligning for Gunther to be the person facing off against John Cena in Cena's last match at Saturday Night's Main Event in December. That's just the way it's starting to look, and the way they're building this up, the fact that John's having this last match, the fact that the opponent for John is going through this Last Time Is Now tournament. John has mentioned about the future of this business and the uprising, if you will, of WWE for, the next, 10, 15, 20 years. My thing when John had made that comment, to me, it just had more, in my opinion, more emphasis on NXT. And that he was talking about NXT and having the talent that's in NXT that are not really on the main roster yet had their time to shine, and John pretty much passing the torch or giving that superstar that momentum or that moment, and possibly having the fact that not only is he John's last opponent, but a person that would beat John possibly in his last match. And not for nothing, throughout the entire tournament, I mean, realistically, we've only had one solid NXT name join this Last Time Now was tournament, and that is none other than Javon Evans. Now, I praised Evans. I think Evans is severely underrated. I think the shit that he does in the ring right now at the age that he is in, I mean, he's got a very, very high ceiling in WWE. Hands down. The match that he had with Sami Zayn in the U.S. Open Challenge, to me, might have been one of the best Sami Zayn matches I've seen in quite some time. I think Javon Evans brought the best out of Sami, and Sami brought the best out of Javon Evans. I think it was a really, really solid matchup between Zayn and Evans. Then we get Javon Evans in the Last Time Is Now tournament taking on the returning of Gunther, who was out for quite some time, and Gunther just ends up getting the win and beating Javon Evans, and Evans is no longer in the Last Time Is Now tournament. So clearly there's not really a strong emphasis on bringing up NXT talent to be a part of this Last Time Is Now tournament. I mean, I even made comments too about Obafemi, that Obafemi was rumored to be joining the main roster. I thought, what better way to put him into, or have him a part of the main roster, or have him acclimate, used to the main roster, would be putting him in this tournament, because you don't really have to write a story for Obafemi. I even made pitches for Obafemi to possibly show up as one of the surprised opponents for Sami Zayn's U.S. Open Challenge, and that did not happen. And it looks like Obafemi is staying in NXT, and in fact, I think he's staying in NXT and going after Ricky Saints for the NXT World Championship. So I don't think Obafemi is getting called up right now. So that matchup is not going to happen. And I predicted if Obafemi was in the tournament, I mean, not for nothing, man, what a better finals matchup where the winner would move on to face John Cena would be Obafemi taking on Gunther in the finals for the Last Time Now tournament. I thought it'd be a great match for both those guys to just tear the house down. And that matchup can pretty much main event any PLE right now that WWE has to offer, in my opinion. But that's not the case. So right now, like I mentioned earlier, all the stars are aligning that it will be Gunther taking on John Cena as Cena's last opponent for his retirement match. That's just the way things are starting to line up and ship up and shape out. So we're going to see how it plays out. I know Gunther has a matchup against, I believe, Solo Sikoa after Solo was able to get the victory over Penta, with Penta being injured in that matchup, allowing Solo to advance in the last time is now tournament. So we're going to see how that plays out as well. Obviously, the big elephant in the room is the War Games matchup. We had AJ Lee and Becky Lynch with both of their respected teams going into War Games. An all-out brawl took place between both of those teams. But obviously the big elephant in the room is War Games, specifically the men's War Games. We saw the likes of Brock Lesnar. Everybody's talking about the fact that, number one, Brock Lesnar pretty much fell on his ass at the entrance ramp, which he, honestly, for nothing, I mean, Brock Lesnar probably made the Shockmaster very proud, and it might have took away the overall history of what happened with the Shockmaster when he fell through that wall that he was walking through. And now, years later, we see Brock Lesnar pretty much bust his ass at the entrance ramp, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. But I'm going to be honest, man. The way this year's War Games is shaping up, I think it's going to be incredible. I think both these teams not only have the star power for both sides of the fence here for both of these teams, but just the storylines that are going into this match and the storylines that are going to be coming out of this year's War Games, I think is going to be the most telling part about this year's War Games, most specifically for the men. Like I said, man, it's loaded with star power. If we're looking from the side of the vision, I mean, it's incredible, man. I mean, you got Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, you got Logan Paul, you also got the likes of Drew McIntyre. I mean, it's a solid team. And then on the other side of the fence, I mean, you also have Brock Lesnar. And you also have, on the other side of the fence, you have the likes of the Usos. And you have Punk, Rhodes, and Roman Reigns. I mean, it is loaded with star power, 100%. And them having War Games live from San Diego, California, at the Padres baseball stadium. I mean, it's going to be 42,000 people live for this event. It's probably going to be sold out by the time we get to, War Games. So, I mean, I think it's going to be incredible. And I know a lot of people are talking about the whole Stone Cold Steve Austin thing that was playing on the Titantrons there in San Diego. I'm not sitting here saying that Stone Cold's not going to be there. He might be a special guest. I don't know. Me personally, I'm not really looking a whole lot into it, to be honest. But with that being said, I think this year's War Games might go down as one of the greatest War Games, specifically for the men, in a very long time. And the fact that we're going to see both Roman staring face-to-face pretty much with Brock Lesnar. This is the first time that we're seeing Brock Lesnar, if I'm not mistaken, in a War Games type element match. I mean, once Lesnar steps in that cage, everybody there in the attendance, everybody watching around the world are going to know that, okay, this match is on and this shit's going to be brutal. Because you're locking a guy in a cage that is just an indestructible force. I might not be a big fan of Brock Lesnar, and I'm not, but I'm also not an idiot, knowing the size and stature of a guy like Brock Lesnar locked in a steel cage. It's going to be brutal. Lesnar is going to use, to me, I feel like Lesnar is going to use every aspect of this match, from the cage walls to anything else that's underneath the ring or anything else like that, a part of this match. This match is going to be brutal. And the Vision are there to send a message to Roman, Punk, Rhodes, and the Usos with the help of Brock Lesnar. I think Lesnar is just going to be a force to be reckoned with within the confines of a War Games type element matchup. It's going to be incredible. We also have John Cena defending the Intercontinental title against Dominic Mysterio in Mysterio's hometown. Obviously, Mysterio is going to get a huge ovation from the crowd, being that they're going to be in San Diego, California. It's going to be an incredible night, man. We also have AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. I think this is AJ Lee's first ever War Games type matchup, so it's going to be cool to see her also in a War Games type element as well. It's going to be incredible, man. We got Stephanie Vacure defending her title against Nikki Bella. It's going to be good. It's going to be an incredible night. I think it's going to be something that's going to have a lot of people talking. I think it's going to tell one hell of a story. And I think the biggest thing coming out of War Games is, what is the story going to be specifically for the Vision and, obviously on the other side of the fence, how these things are going to play out. Where do we go from here? Because obviously we don't know what's going to happen with the Vision after this. Obviously I don't think Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul are going to be sticking around the Vision. I think after this, it's going to go back to the original guys with Breakker, Reed, and Paul Heyman. But doesn't necessarily mean that we won't see more people added to the Vision. I mean, for all intents and purposes, too, even though this is a War Games type matchup, I mean, Paul Heyman can also pull a ruse on everybody, and maybe we get, another person added to this match as far as being involved in this match. Maybe Austin Theory somehow. Maybe he's hiding underneath the ring. He comes out, he helps the Vision. You know what I mean? A lot of people are still speculating that Jey Uso might turn heel and join the Vision. I mean, there's still also that aspect as well. So we're going to see how this plays out going into War Games and leaving War Games. But I think this year's War Games is going to be absolutely incredible, in my honest opinion. I'm very much excited for it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think San Diego, California, those fans are going to be absolutely just going crazy for this event. And to me, Survivor Series has always been WWE's one of their big four pay-per-views every year. Survivor Series, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and obviously WrestleMania. So I don't think WWE is going to disappoint with this year's Survivor Series at all. And I think War Games is going to be absolutely incredible. But with that being said, this is my review of Monday Night Raw. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful, and remember, stay classic. Peace.